I want to hear what Ben has to say. He made the sweatiest waltz clip.
Kamala Harris is bringing out gigantic crowds. Democrats are, in fact, enthused. They brought out Josh Shapiro for a little bit of a consolation run. He yelled a bit.
I don't get it. Like, why is he writing for Josh Shapiro? Why is he wet? That's my first question. My first question is, why is he wet? Second question is, oh my God, how much makeup does he normally use? I'm just noticing a lot of lines on his face now.
So the newest DNC-approved, MSM-sponsored talking point has just dropped, which is that conservatives are apparently terrified of Tim Walz. And Hassan, the sellout and shill, is here to promote that to us right now. Let's see what he has to say.
When he's not in the regular setting that he's in. Last but not least, why the are these guys acting like they, one, really love Joe Biden and were mad that he was swapped out, and two, really love Josh Shapiro and are mad that the Democrats didn't go with Josh Shapiro? There is no better example that the Dems did a good thing again than all of the Republicans collectively being like, well, I sure think you guys are anti-Semitic for not going with Josh Shapiro.
It's kind of a Daily Wire talking point, not really my speed, but one of the reasons Josh Shapiro probably wasn't chosen is because he might disturb the Gaza voters, who are a not insignificant constituency of the Democratic Party. This is Kamala shutting down some pro-Palestine protesters at one of her speeches in Michigan.
He intends to surrender our fight against the climate crisis, and he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that, otherwise I'm speaking.
Powerful Karen or unlikable middle school teacher energy right there. So scary, so terrifying.
Voice broke, and he talks a little bit about being Jewish, which gave Democrats cover to ignore the fact that the explicit reason they did not pick him is because he's a Jew. And then Kamala Harris did an entire speech in which she really didn't talk about politics very much.
It's so funny. It's like, are they going to be like, yeah, that's why they didn't like Bernie Sanders? Is that what they're going to say next? Like, the Democrats actually Bernie. Obviously, Republicans are always mad, but they're extra mad now.
If you go back far enough, he was a high school football coach. And don't you know, he's a teacher and a high school football. He's basically Mr. Feeney, but more athletic. He's like Ed Asner, avuncular, moderate, just one of the boys. A guy who can crack a beer and can shoot a rifle, but is also really, really in favor of gun control and transing the kids. That's basically the pitch.
Bro, he's mad that Walz is too good.
This has been the leftist cope strategy, is just whenever Republicans criticize anything about either of these candidates, they just go, oh, see, they're mad, they're scared. It's not like Kamala is one of the most unlikable candidates in history, and that Tim Walz was chosen simply because he didn't detract anything from her campaign. Like, literally, he doesn't add anything to it, and he doesn't detract anything to it. He won Minnesota by the same margins Biden did. He's not some sort of like, oh man, he's relatable to the blue collar white working man. A lot of Midwestern Fox News dads gonna be voting blue now because Walz is on the ticket. No, ridiculous. This whole song and dance you see being done by Hassan and other commentators like Vaush and all over Twitter, of course, every sort of major or even minor leftist commentator is just repeating the same nonsense, is because they're attempting to circle the wagons. They're attempting to rally their own party behind these two very, very, very profoundly unlikable people.
Where people start actually cheering USA. And why are they cheering USA? Because she says, what an amazing country this is. What an incredible country where a person like me.
I like that Ben Shapiro is mad that like America is a country where like you can be middle class, like raised by a single mom and like one day run for president as like a black Indian woman. And that is like the reason why Ben doesn't like America. It's the one thing he hates about America. He's like, I wish America wouldn't allow those sorts of things. So he's just like upset. Okay.
She was technically born here, but she was actually really raised in Canada. That's worth pointing out. And no, those are not the reasons Ben Shapiro is quote unquote mad.
Middle class person or Tim Walz middle class person can become the president and vice president of the United States. Now, I agree with that. But she doesn't agree with that. She believes that America is systemically racist. So does Tim Walz. Tim Walz said,
You know, those two things can still coexist, right? Systemic racism can still exist, and people from marginalized backgrounds can still thrive in the country. It's like some of the best aspects of America and some of the worst aspects of America. Also, the reason why you love America, because of the second thing. You love America because of systemic racism.
Or it's actually not real and you've created a boogeyman to demonize white people and trick minorities into voting for your party so you can enslave them. But look at these headlines. He's citing Salon like it's a respectable news source. What a joke. People who watch Hassan are clowns, bro.
That you routinely deny even exists, and you get paid a lot of money to do that.
is this idea that these folks are real reminders of what brings us together, that what they are really interested more than anything else is governing for all Americans. They are radically to the left. This is why the Trump campaign has a moral obligation to remind the American people that these people are radically to the left.
I need Ben Shapiro to explain to me policies such as paid family leave and medical leave, and policies such as free breakfast and lunch programs for all school children in public schools.
Yeah, nice pivot. That's not the reason people are saying Walz is far left. That may be the reason Ben Shapiro is citing, because he's an idiot who is part of the fiscally libertarian wing of the Republican Party. But there are a lot of other things that we could point to show that Tim Walz is far left. Hassan is such an annoying liar, and people who believe this are so stupid. He probably has someone literally feeding him these lines.
Oh my God. I love the cry bullying coming from the Republican Party. They, on a daily basis, lie about everything. Their policy positions are built on top of hysterical lies, oftentimes racist, vitriolic sentiment. Okay? Hysterically racist, vitriolic sentiment. But then beyond that, they also lie about all manner of different things. This is the party that said Paul Pelosi was gay lovers with David DePipe, okay? Who broke into Nancy Pelosi's house and tried to kill Paul Pelosi and kidnap him. Very much ran with that, okay? They did. Now, they might have been right on that. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to stop saying that David DePipe and Paul Pelosi were in a gay relationship. I'm going to stop doing that.
It's because you know they were, with how quickly that story got in memory hold. Let's not play around here.
But like these guys who regularly lie all the time about every single thing, now they're going to turn around and be like, JD Vance never couch, and it's really messed up that Tim Walz actually brought up the couch thing.
Now that is a sign of desperation if I've ever heard it. You want to know how desperate these people are. They have to make up dumb lies and then have the unofficial, official VP pick repeat them in order to get the edge on Trump and Vance. That's the position of weakness that leftists are coming from right now. Vance's book has literally been a New York Times bestseller twice now. It was a long time ago. I read it when it first came out. And it's a bestseller again now because he's running. And what makes this lie even stupider is that liberals read this book. They loved it. That's part of why it's a New York Times bestseller. Like, you don't think this is just so easy to fact check that now you have your VP pick repeat this to try and smear him? Like, people are not that stupid. This reeks of desperation. This whole campaign just reeks of desperation. All this posturing reeks of desperation.
It doesn't exist in Hillbilly Elegy. Supposedly J.D. Vance having some sort of sexual relationship with the couch is really stupid, but it's become a Democrat meme, and now you've got the vice presidential contender who's actually throwing that out there in public. Wink, not. He even stopped and said, you can see what I'm doing there.
Here's the video, by the way. Let's roll the clip.
I gotta tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy. That is if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So, you see what I did there?
He's such a dad, bro. That is such a... He has the vibes. Sorry, it puts a smile on my face because it's like a lot of old head Hasanabi fans know I love that classic like dad joke. I love classic dad jokes because of that Applebee's TikTok. Yeah, like the...
This is the other talking point, which just goes to show you how leftists and liberals who vote for the Democratic Party are just absolutely mentally damaged. Talking about Walz like he's their dad. He's like your dad. He's like your dad if he wasn't radicalized by Fox News or something.
I guess they let anybody in here. Like, he had that locked in the chamber, dude. You can tell. Look at his face. He had that locked in the chamber. Now, before you go, I guess Democrats are running with the Twitter memes as well. So the Democrats are using Twitter talking points too. No, dog. He knows JD Vance didn't a couch, okay? He's joking. There's a difference between that and then some dude seriously being like, he's a Somali. He genuinely changed the flag of Minnesota to look like the Somali flag. What the
It would be comparable if J.D. Vance repeated something like that, but, nice false equivalency there. It's also pretty funny how leftists will still seethe over Elon taking over Twitter, but are still forced to use quote-unquote Twitter talking points.
are you saying? Yeah, he's the crypto Somali VP. You understand that there's a difference between him being like, see what I did there? Like a double entendre, also known as a joke. Republicans being like, Kamala Harris is literally not black.
Her mother is Indian and her father is a Jamaican national who is Indian but then also black. So she is probably like 1/4 black at the most. She is not African American, although the lying media would have you believe otherwise.
The right should be thanking Jesus every single day that the Democratic Party is run by people whose idea of responding in kind to years of fully unhinged and depraved Republican rhetoric and misinformation is a goofy little meme, and the word weird couldn't be me. Yeah, meanwhile, Stephen Miller is saying, under the Harris-Walz plan, they're going to turn the entire Midwest into Mogadishu. That is a perfect representation of like how unimaginably unhinged the right is on a daily basis. This is exactly like when they tried to turn around and say that calling Trump Hitler is the reason why he got shot by a registered Republican, mind you.
Yeah, just go ahead and ignore any of the other information that's coming out about this guy. And also just forget the fact that he actually donated to a Democratic organization when he was around 17. He donated to Act Blue. And probably the real reason he was actually a registered Republican is because, oh yeah, he lives in Pennsylvania, a swing state, and he's probably registered Republican in order to vote in Republican primaries and then affect which Republicans are actually able to run. All to the Democrat Party's advantage. And it really just shows you how, like, sick and evil these people are. He doesn't even want to face up to the fact that, yes, Democrats have radicalized people. Comparing someone to Hitler and saying all of his followers are racist Nazis who literally want to kill all minorities will radicalize people.
But they are the number one cry bullies. And Ben Shapiro's doing that right now because he's such a little gross little piece of
The whole idea here. Meanwhile, don't worry, he's bringing Americans together. Now, at no point were the challenges that actually face the country ever brought up. The challenges, apparently, according to Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, the big challenges are that Obamacare might get repealed. That's like the big challenge. The big challenge is that Donald Trump might ban abortion, which, of course, he has said he is not going to do and has no interest in doing.
Yeah, that's crazy because like Donald Trump has always been so honest about his policy positions.
He's not going to. He's genuinely not interested. He's been saying that for months now. And this whole Trump is going to ban abortion thing is something they're going to pivot to come October to try and drum up the woman vote. But it's just not happening. He said that he just wants to return it to the states, and that's it. This is a mischaracterization of his opinions, and it's designed to drum up Hassan's idiot following into voting blue.
And so is the Republican Party famously, which is why every single Supreme Court of the United States justice appointment that Donald Trump made actively lied to the entire American population. And the Senate Judiciary Committee, when they claimed that they would not overturn Roe v. Wade and that it was a super precedent, they lied about that.
No, they didn't. This is disinfo. In fact, Amy Coney Barrett went so far as to specifically say she did not believe it was a super precedent.
No serious dealing with issues, and that is the theme of this campaign. In the end, that's the theme of this campaign. Ignore everything. Ignore all of the activities of the Biden campaign and the Biden-Harris administration. Ignore all of it. Ignore Tim Walz's tenure as governor. Ignore all of it. They are casting a TV show, and in this TV show, you have the very charming Kamala Harris, who apparently is filled with joy. That's the other thing that we learned.
That's another great take. He's seething so hard. He's like actually mad that they look good, that they're telegenic, and that he's stuck with Donald Trump.
They are not telegenic. This is such cope. Kamala Harris is so unlikable. This is why she hasn't been holding press conferences for like 18 days. This is why she hasn't been talking to reporters. She puts her foot in her mouth whenever she speaks. She's so unrelatable.
That's great, man. You just don't watch it if it's just a TV show, big dog.
So you got the words unity and you got a lot of joy. According to Tim Walz, Kamala Harris is not weird. Right? That crazy laughter, that stuff, not weird. That's joy. The weird dancing and the strange motions, that's not weird. That's
Give me the clip, chat. Aiden Ross with Donald Trump. I know you have it. I know you have it dialed in. Okay. Remember, Kamala Harris is weird because she laughs a lot and she dances, right? But Donald Trump, on the other hand, very normal. That's why when he went on Aiden Ross's kick stream on the platform, the funniest part about this is that like Aiden Ross looks exactly like young conservatives now. Like when he put this fit on, he looked exactly like the YAF boys, you know, the Young Americans for Freedom.
Hassan is seething over this, you can tell. Aiden Ross has a very large following of young men, and Donald Trump is capitalizing on that. And Hassan cannot handle it. He's so angry.
Boys that you see, like the most annoying person at every college campus, like he turned into that instantly. He looks like such a little groiper, dude. Holy. Not weird, man. Very normal.
They do not understand that Tim Walz, who had people chanting, "Mind your own business" at this rally, literally forced everyone to close their business in the state of Minnesota.
There you go. Yet another reason Walz is seen as far left. Hassan is too dense to get it, though. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hassan is a tool and a shill, and Red Channels will catch you in the next one.